Hello guys, my name is Rico. I was the guy helping Hot Dog showcase all the different monster abilities in the previous video on the basic guide for the specialist. And today, instead, I am gonna be teaching you guys the basics of the monster role in the game Project Playtime. So, the first thing I am gonna explain is, of course, your objective as the monster. What you have to do in the whole game is kill all the survivors as fast as possible before they collect all the toy parts and escape with the train. Now, when you start a match while playing as the monster or the survivor, well, in this case, the monster, you will always spawn the furthest away from the survivors, so right on the other side of the map. There are always two train stations in every single map, and survivors always spawn on one side, and you will spawn on the other side. So when you're playing as the monster, you're gonna have to remember to go on the other side if you want to be looking for the survivors to start your first chase. As you find your first survivor, when you approach near them, you can press your left mouse button to deal damage to them. Now, every survivor has 100 health, and for Huggy or Mommy, it will take 3 hits to actually down a survivor, because they deal 40 damage per hit, whilst Boxy deals 20 damage per hit, so he has to hit a survivor 5 times to actually down. Once you down a survivor, you can pick them up by clicking on them again, and while you are holding a survivor, you will see all the deposits marked in red. And that is where you need to throw a survivor so they lose a life. Also, you have to be careful because if you don't deposit a survivor within 30 seconds of downing them, they will be automatically revived, and you'll have to repeat the process of downing them. Now, lives. Of course, every survivor has 3 lives, and like I said before, they will lose 1 life each time they're deposited into the pit. And if they're not rescued within 60 seconds of being deposited into the pit, they will lose another life, or they will die if this was their last life. While chasing survivors, they will use many obstacles throughout the map to slow you down, so like doors, vents, and swings. Sometimes you can go around them to shorten the distance that they got with you through those obstacles, but in some places you just can't do that. You have to follow straight after them or just leave the chase and go for someone else. Now, I also wanted to mention that while you're playing as the monster, you can see puzzle pillars through walls. And if a survivor fails while doing a puzzle, you will get a notification on that one. So if you're looking for a survivor to chase, you can check on the pillar that they failed. Okay guys, now I'm gonna explain how every monster works, and I'm gonna begin with Huggy. Now, Huggy has a slow attack. If you press left mouse button, he has a very slow attack, and like I've said earlier, he deals 40 damage per hit. And now, his first ability is a dash attack that gives him the ability to insta-kill survivors if they are in your way. So if I press shift, I will do an attack, and if there was a survivor here, he will immediately die. Also, and his second ability is that he can place many turrets throughout the map, like this one. And if a survivor is gonna be near him, like for example here, he will start screaming and he will notify me. So if I'm across the map, I'll get a notification that someone was here. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, you can jump with every killer if you press spacebar. Okay, now the second monster I'm gonna showcase is Mommy Longlegs. Her attack speed is pretty much the same as Huggy Wuggy, and so is the damage, so nothing different here. But her main power is your right click on your mouse, and that allows you to grab onto stuff. You can grab onto ceilings, you can grab onto walls, you can also grab like pretty far away. And her second ability is an X-ray ability. If you press your E keybind, I have it changed to F, but for you it should be E. If you press E, you will see survivors for a few seconds. Of course, I just used it and went on cooldown. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my longest. Oh, of course, well, you can also jump, but that applies for every monster, like I said. Okay, and the last monster I'm gonna showcase today is, of course, Boxy. Now he's a little different from the others. His attack speed is much faster, but at the cost of him dealing only 20 damage per hit. So survivors will get a lot of speed boosts each time they're gonna get a lot of distance on you. But that's where you can use your power, your second power, which is a spring jump. If you hold shift and charge it, you jump just like that. Of course, you don't have to fully charge it. You could charge it like halfway and still jump a decent amount. And that's his second power. And his third power is a grab attack. So if I press right click on a survivor, if there was a survivor here and I pressed right click, I would grab them over to me and then I can hit them. And yeah, that's pretty much everything about his power. And also, thank you guys for watching this guide. I hope you learned something. And if you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe and like, because me and Hotdog are gonna be posting more guides like this and more videos in the future. So stay tuned for that, and yeah, goodbye.